At $0, life isn't lived. It is an agonizing operation of oxygen extraction. Every single decision is a desperate, calculated maneuver just to make it a sunset without breaking. You wake up with a crushing weight in your chest, a silent, vibrating anxiety telling you that you've already lost the day before the sun even rises. Bills aren't just paper or digital notifications. They're predatory reminders that your time is bleeding out and you are losing the race. You avoid looking at your bank account because the cold, hard truth burns worse than the uncertainty. You aren't building a legacy. You're just trying not to drown while the tide pulls you further from the shore. At $1,000, the air enters your lungs a little easier, but the relief is deceptive. It isn't freedom. It is a psychological painkiller. For the first time in months, the panic isn't a constant, deafening scream. It's a dull, rhythmic hum in the background. You begin to make small, fragile plans, buying a decent meal or fixing a minor leak. But the fear of a single mistake haunts your every move. You know with terrifying certainty that one flat tire, one medical bill, or one minor lapse in judgment could drag you back into the abyss. Even when the surface looks calm, your mind remains trapped in high-alert survival mode, flinching at every shadow. At $10,000, stability finally starts to take root in the soil of your life. You have the ultimate luxury, mental space. That space changes everything because you can finally look past next Tuesday. You feel smarter, more capable, and finally in control of your own narrative. But this is where the most subtle, poisonous danger lurks. Comfort. You stop pushing because the sharp whip of hunger no longer stings your back. You feel good enough. Most people stay at this level forever, not because they lack the raw talent to climb higher, but because they mistake the absence of pain for the presence of ultimate success. At $100,000, money transforms into a sophisticated management tool. Problems no longer have the power to terrify you. You simply delete them with a transaction. If something breaks, you fix it immediately. If a crisis arises, you write a check and move on. But now, your lifestyle becomes the new, invisible jailer. You've upgraded your home, your clothes, and your circles, but the pressure to maintain that high-definition standard replaces the old fear of poverty. You aren't just earning anymore. You are protecting a fortress that requires constant fueling. The stress hasn't left. It has just changed its wardrobe. At $1 million, freedom ceases to be a dream and becomes a tangible reality. You no longer trade your precious, finite hours for basic survival. You have total, undisputed control over your calendar. But then something jarring and unexpected happens. The urgency vanishes. Without the raw fire of necessity burning under you, motivation becomes a ghost that is hard to catch. You have everything you thought you wanted, but now you must face the terrifying, quiet question of what actually matters when money is no longer the answer to every problem. You have the map, but you've lost the reason to drive. At $10 million, you enter a completely different parallel reality. You gain access to rooms, networks, and conversations that 99% of the world will never even know exist. Money starts working for you in complex ways you never understood before, but trust becomes an incredibly expensive luxury. You start questioning the hidden intention behind every smile and every handshake. Do they value your soul, your ideas, or just your balance sheet? Your influence expands across industries, but your inner circle shrinks to a handful of people. The world gets bigger, but your private life gets much smaller. At $100 million, you're no longer reacting to the world. You are actively shaping it. Your casual decisions affect the lives of thousands of families and the direction of entire markets. You live in a bubble of total, unfiltered exclusivity, but the isolation is profound and heavy. Very few people on the planet can comprehend your reality, and relationships often become purely transactional or political. At this dizzying height, success begins to taste like a strange, cold loneliness. You have moved beyond the reach of common human experience. At $1 billion, the game you spent your life playing is officially over. There is absolutely nothing left to prove to anyone. You can have anything, anywhere, at any time, and that is exactly what strips away the flavor of life. When everything is possible, nothing feels special anymore. Achievements feel smaller, and moments of genuine joy lose their intensity because they lack the contrast of struggle. The mountain has been conquered, but the air is too thin to breathe comfortably. You realize the win was the climb, not the view from the peak. Money solves every single problem at the bottom of the ladder, but it creates entirely new, existential crises at the top. At the bottom, you are desperate for stability. At the top, you are starving for a sense of meaning. In the end, you realize that the struggle you once hated, the sweat, the tears, and the uncertainty was actually what gave your progress its flavor. The journey, with all its beautiful, messy chaos, was the real experience. The outcome was just the period at the end of a long, complex sentence.